In 1970, English symphonic rockers Raw Material released their first of two albums on the Evolution label, and from it, the track Time and Illusion.
Once the sun watched the rain falling down your window pane. You're lost in confusion of my mind. In and out the cobwebs ride, take you to a countryside of time.
Do you hear that zither? Let's catch up with the lyrics here. Amazingly, they can be found online on genius.com. Watch the sun, watch the rain, falling down your window pane. You're lost in confusion of my mind. In and out the cobwebs ride. Take you to a countryside of time and illusion left behind. Very kind of misty, cold, wintry vibe going on.
And illusion left behind. I've never been there before. I don't know my way around. And I have a feeling I'm lost, but I'm sure I'll be found.
Okay, I like that chorus. It really just rises out of the track. And I do apologize for some of the sonic limitations. Every copy I've managed to procure sounds like this. It kind of like muffled and misty in certain parts and then kind of really loud. Maybe the bass seems to be kind of loud and maybe reverberating a bit too heavily. But let's see. I've never been there before. I don't know my way around. And all the feeling I've lost, but I'm sure I'll be found. Huh. It seems to be about disconnection. Yeah.
On your way, you'll take a train. Short vacation to the brain. Imagine you're a goblin in the sky. Taking notes, enjoying thrills.
I'm hearing a slight influence of some of the more folksy psychedelic bands of the late 60s, particularly the band Kaleidoscope. Except slowed down even further. Yeah.
Walking across the Goblin Hills, surprise. You can see beyond your eyes. I've never been there before. I don't know my way around. And I'm feeling I'm lost, but I'm sure I'll be found.
It's a pretty good drumming on this. I like those those really low piano kind of echoing notes that are being thrown in amid the pretty active organ, kind of thin but kind of noodly organ sound, reminiscent of Cressida, some of their contemporaries. Yeah. Worth the price of admission. I love that tone, the glowing tone of the vibraphone. Yeah, just in case you started to think this track was getting a little bit boring and that midsection jam was just going on, was just kind of long-winded. In comes what, you know. And it's so much better produced than everything else. It's like that one layer, the vibraphone, that one track, it just has so much clarity in it. It's so kind of like, it's just like high above like the rest of the track. It seems like everything else kind of sounds so murky. It's amazing how some of these recordings, you'll have like all these instruments that sound kind of muffled, and then there's this one that almost sounds like it was like beamed in from a different recording somehow, much better produced. The keyboardists have kind of like reined it in, and they're just letting the vibraphone take over, but they're still, what they're doing in the background is adding a lot to the atmosphere nonetheless, whether they're doing little tiny kind of partially muted fills or just these kind of haunted sustains. Played that vibraphone solo. I'm not seeing that on the basic credits of the album. I'm going to have to dig deeper on that. I think it might be played by one Paul Young, another person bearing that name. Yeah, not... certainly not either of the... Yeah, Paul Young is the drummer of the band, and so I guess it says... Actually, they don't create a drummer. It just says percussion, but I'm definitely hearing drums, and so I don't know if it's him doing an overdub, or if they got someone in and it's just uncredited. Or it's one of the other members of the band and they just didn't play it out. But yeah. Perhaps there's a more detailed list of credits somewhere. And for the record, some of the other instrumentalists, the bass work, that kind of throbbing, persistent bass, is Phil Gunn. The keyboards and vocals are by Colin Catt. Other vocals by Mick Fletcher. And guitar, Dave Green. Yeah, Dave Green, I believe, the only one to resurface later. Yeah, he briefly resurfaced in the Jim McCarty Renaissance spin-off Shoot. Yeah, that was Jim McCarty's project between Renaissance, the original Renaissance, and its reformation as Illusion. On the 1970s scene, I would say the closest parallel at this point would be Gentle Giant, who were using mallets on their first album, like Isn't It Quiet and Cold? Yeah. Or Webb. Yeah, Webb Samurai. Yeah, they were using mallets. That just has me thinking right now. I wish there was like a piano, kind of like an expressionistic free jazz or something, piano solo. Okay, maybe the keyboardist wasn't really capable of that, but I would have liked to have heard a bit more activity in that department. I like that fuzzy tone that suddenly came in. That's now careening toward the climax of the track. A little bit different than I remembered. I thought the chorus was going to come back. It just, after the second chorus, it just kind of goes into this forever jam. A bit long-winded, kind of for primarily a monochordal. A minor. I would have trimmed it somewhat, but I really enjoyed the vibraphone solo. The song proper had a good structure to it. There were some good touches. Overall, a good track, even if a bit lengthy for its content. Anyway, yeah. Raw Material, Time and Illusion, from their first of two albums, circa 1970-71. Yeah, back-to-back albums they would release. Yeah, let's hear another track from this album. The next one, I'd Be Delighted. Okay, and the comparison here is obvious. So obvious I'm not even going to mention.
If I could walk with you a mile, if I could laugh, if I could smile, if I could stay with you a while, walk a mile, raise a smile, I'll be delighted, I'll be delighted, yes I would.
Okay, I couldn't find the lyrics to this one on Genius.com, but unlike the last track, they're very audible this time.
If I could lay across your bed and feel the thoughts pass through your head and live my life until I'm dead across your bed, inside your head, I'll be delighted, I'll be delighted, oh yes I would.
That's kind of like just a typical bluesy progression, like 1 1 2 2 1 1 2 2 1 1 2 2, like that.
Days may come, days may go, But with you, I can't show what you mean. You really know.
Yeah, this track very much owing to kind of like the blues rock that was coming out of Freak Beat in the late 60s.
With you a mile. If I could laugh, if I could smile, if I could stay with you a while.
Very much an attitude song in a way. A bit of an aggressive feel to it.
Walk a mile, raise a smile. I've been delighted. I've been delighted. Oh yes, I would.
Okay, I love the fluttering of the flute. The bass, the way it's produced leaves a little bit to be desired. It just kind of has like this, it creates kind of all this reverb at the bottom. Wow, that was held on for quite a bit there.
If I could walk with you a mile, if I could laugh, if I could smile, if I could stay with you a mile.
The flutist really is taking comfort in a single note.
Walk a mile, raise a smile. I'll be delighted. I'll be delighted. Oh yes, I would.
Now that's a welcome addition. I wish it had come in a little bit earlier. I was just starting to think, catchy chorus, good overall vibe, but give me some more note. It's like everything is just so mono. We got like a monochordal song, which is like, yeah, give me some more notes. Give me some note variation here.
Lay across your bed and feel the thoughts pass through my head and live my life until I'm dead. Across your bed, inside your head, I'll be delighted. I'll be delighted. Oh yes, I would.
Okay, I should have introduced it a little bit earlier. Yeah, well, the saxophone is played by Mick Fletcher. Yeah, who also does the flute. Bathos. I wonder what that holds to the narrative of the track. Like, did they feel they just needed something kind of like lighthearted to shake things up or something? Or they just need to pad things out another like 45 seconds or whatever that was, yeah. I'd Be Delighted by Raw Material, and before that, Time and Illusion. The first two tracks from their self-titled first of two albums, released in 1970. Oftentimes, side one is considered the strong half, side two. I like the first four tracks. I was almost going to do Fighting Cock instead of one of these two. Then I was playing it. As I was revisiting it before I went live. I realized that it just took too long to get to the brass tacks. Despite only being 3 minutes and 50 seconds, it just the chorus takes forever to arrive, and the verses are just too muffled, too mono. It just wouldn't have carried over well. Yeah, it has this interesting chorus there. The cadence is really frenetic to it, but yeah. I also like the kind of blues rocker Peril in an Apple Tree. It has this chordal twist that you wouldn't quite expect on it. And then after that, it's a little bit questionable. There's one other track that has some mallet on it, though. Their second album, Time is a bit more consistent throughout. Is generally like a stronger release overall. But yeah, Raw Material, one of many promising acts that emerged at the turn of the 70s, and kind of like Gracious, like Cressida, only put out 2 albums and then disappeared. Yeah. And anyway, yeah, but I mean, in an era when there's so much great music going on, I guess there's only so much room at the top, and there's so much competition going on that a lot of bands just kind of get lost in the fray. Yeah, or they just don't have the connections just aren't made for them. Yeah. Anyway, for more Rubies and Sapphires from the 2 Raw Material albums, see the directory of albums by English R artists linked in the description below. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, share the video, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the 2 tracks we just heard. The layers, the interplay, the sounds, the soloing. It's pretty... There isn't much to really... let's just say that these standout solos were pretty obvious because there weren't many to choose from. Yeah. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled maximalist, signing off.